Hello, my name is Simone and I'm a consultant right here in Tasmania. And what I'd like to do for you today is show you how to use our wonderful Bellish Ezy Press. It's an A4 roller die cutting and embossing machine. Okay, and it comes with all these mats. Now I'll just explain to you what they are. So we have our base A mat, our embossing mat here, and this little flimsy one here that goes with our embossing mat. Then we have this pad here for our standard paper cutting dies, and this one here is for our thick paper cutting dies, and this green one here, X, is for other brand dies. Now this machine is compatible with most leading dies, but it's not compatible with the Tim Holtz, the Bigs and the Sizzix dies because they're far too thick and they just won't fit through the machine. Okay, so I'll just pop those down there. Okay, now what's great about this little machine is, as I said, it's A4, so if you've got dies like really big envelope dies, it's great for cutting those out, or any other big dies that you have, and of course it fits A4 size standard cardstock and papers. Okay, and it's really good for transportation. You can take the handle off and put it in this handy little compartment up here for storage, but I also find this little compartment really great for all your little dies, which is what I've done with all of mine. So I've got them all put in there. And the other good thing is that across the front here it also has all the instructions on which pads to use with which embossing folders and which dies, but once you're used to the pads it doesn't take long and you won't even need to refer to that. But also for further guidance is on our dies, it's got across here what kind of die it is and what pads to use with it, so you can't go wrong. Also this machine has a little lever across the front here, and that's for suctioning the machine down to the table so that it doesn't move around, which is really great. Yep, and I think that's about it. So what I want to show you today is how to make this cute little tag. I'll just get a close-up of that there. Okay, and it's called an embossed altered teabag flower tag. So we will be doing some cutting and some embossing there with that flower. Okay, so what we're going to need is a strip of SB paper. I've used a strip from our foundations range, but you can use anything that you like. And this little frame die. Now it's telling us to use pad A and pad C. So we've got our base pad in place. So first of all we'll pop that down like that. And what I want to do is the side that I want to keep nice and smooth, I'm going to face down on the die, and the reason being for that is when we place this one on top, if you notice, if you can see that on there, there's cuts on the mat, and that's quite normal, but if you put that on the good side, that will leave an imprint on your cardstock or your paper. So if we face it downways, that won't affect it. And you use both sides of these, it doesn't matter which side you use, but it gives even wear if you turn them over frequently. So we pop that in there. Now this should be very easy to roll through, and if it's not, just check your stack and make sure you're using the right pads. And also, if I was to let this go, that's going to fling around the handle and that could hurt me in the hand, so you need to hold on to it tightly and just keep rolling. Okay. Alright. Let me just take the top mat off. Okay. So there we have our first scallop. Okay, so we need 2 more of those, so I'm going to cut 2 more of those now. Now we have our 3 scallops. I'm going to do some blending, so I'm just going to pop a plastic sheet on there to help me with my blending on top. It's just plain old acetate. And we need to pop those on there like that. Alright. So what I'm using today is broken china, distress ink, and a blending tool. And you always start on the outside and work your way in. If you just put your tool straight on top, then it's going to leave pad marks all over it. So if you work your way in, it'll be nice and smooth. So all I want to do is just go around the edges, just to give it a little bit of depth around the edge. Okay, see that? Alright, and then you need to do the other two the same way. Okay, and there you have your 3 inked scallops. Next thing I want to do is stamp a script stamp over them. So I'm going to use black soot distress ink this time, and a script stamp. Just any old script stamp will do. Okay, and just ink up part of the script stamp, and just I'm going to ink them individually. Okay, so there we have it, and I'll just show you what that looks like. Okay, alright, now the next thing we want to do is to use an embossing folder to get an image on it. And we're using today our Swinging Flowers folder or plate. Okay, so what we need for that is our floppy mat to go on top of the base pad. Okay, and just place your little scallops on top like that. Alright, and then just pop that over there. Okay, and then our base pad B for embossing. Okay, and just pop that in, and away we go. Alright. And you probably can't really see that too well. Okay, but I'm going to use some distress ink. I'm going to directly use the pad on that embossed image so that it shows up. So we'll just get our plastic mat back again. And just give that a bit of a wipe. Okay, so pop those back on, and I'm just going to use it directly over the scallop. So just lightly rub that over the top. And just do that for all 3. Okay, so to create our flowers, all you need to do is just fold them in half. Now you need to fold them in between a scallop, not on a scallop, okay? Just like that, okay? And then you face it downwards like that, and what you want to do is imagine that there's an imaginary line going up through there, and that's where you want to fold. So you bring that up like that. So there's your imaginary line, and then you bring your other fold up the same way. Okay, so it looks like that, and then all you have to do is open them up and just push down on the top part there. Okay, so then you have your 2 petals, and it looks like that. Alright, and then do the other 2 the same way. Okay, and then we have them, and they sit together like that. But as you can see, they've still got that little piece at the back there. Some people leave that there, and if you're using the same coloured background it will blend in really nicely, but I prefer to cut them off. So if you can see that there, I'll just show you a little bit closer, just so you don't see it. So just snip that off. Okay, there we go. Okay, and you do the same to the other 2. Alright, and then they sit nicely together like that. Okay, now what we're going to do is the rest of the tags. So we'll just pop those aside there for a minute. And we just use one of our Kaszazz tags. Okay, and we're just going to do some blending with the same dressing we used before, the broken china. Okay. And just work all the way around your tag. Starting on the plastic and working your way in. And then, just to deepen those corners a little bit more, I'm going to use a little bit of black. So now with another blending tool, and a little bit of black, just a little bit. I'm going to go gently with the black because it's quite deep if you hit it too hard. Okay. Alright. So that's the tag there. And we're just going to stamp a flurry stamp on it. We're using this one today. And again, the black distress ink. And just stamp it across the middle of your tag. Like that. Pressing down firmly but not too hard. Okay, so we're just going to stamp it with our little friends stamp. Alright, and then just finally put a little hole. That's the tag part finished. Okay, and then all you do is using glossy accents, and I'll just need to pop a pin in that end there because they do tend to get a little bit locked when you haven't used it. Okay, and I'm just going to squirt a little bit of glossy accents where I want the flower to go. You can use super tape if you'd like. Just pop them down like that. And once they're all together, just hold them there for a second till that sets. Okay, now out of just a scrap little piece of paper, I'm just going to punch out a little mini scallop or a small scallop rather, using a little small scallop, and I'm going to attach that as well. Actually, before I attach that, I'm just going to put a little bit of blue ink just to make that a little bit deeper for the centre of your flower. Okay, so a bit more glossy, and I'm just going to pop that down on top of the flower, and I'm just going to use the end of my pencil just to hold it down, and just hold it there for a second till that dries. Okay, and now I'm just going to add a rhinestone to the centre, and pick one up with our tweezer bit, which makes it very easy to place. Put it in the centre, and again just hold that down for a minute. Okay, and there's the finished product. It's gorgeous, isn't it?